So the second thing I want to say is that the pruning of our loving Heavenly Father is to give us more of Christ. You see, we are pruned by a Heavenly Father who is kind and wise and good. The stuff in us or around us that he removes by his pruning, he removes for our good, in order to give us something far better, him. Sometimes it's sin that God needs to remove. Sometimes it's the things in our life that aren't necessarily sinful, but they're holding us back from growing in the fruits of the Spirit because they distract us or divert us off target. I heard this incredible story this week about Matt Emmons. In the 2004 Olympics, it was the final. He was so far ahead of the competition, all he needed to do was land a shot anywhere on the target. Anywhere, didn't matter. If he landed it, he won gold. He was the champion. So he steps up to take his shot, pretty confident, takes his shot. Having completed it, he looks up at the scoreboard and he's been given a 0. Everyone's confused. They're thinking there's got to be a glitch. Camera zooms into his target, sure enough, no bullet, no hole. Camera pans to the left, and there are 2 holes on the target next to it. He'd shot the wrong target. And it meant not only did he lose gold, he fell off the leaderboard completely. Our goal, our primary purpose in life, should be to abide in Jesus. But we so easily lose focus. Other things come in that become more important to us. We aim for the wrong target. But through his pruning, God kindly and graciously refocuses us by taking us through the very trial we need to get us back on track. Bruce Wilkinson, who wrote The Secrets of the Vine, wrote this: "That's why pruning often lasts longer and goes further than we think is reasonable or fair. That's also why if you pull back when you reach what seems like your limit, you will never grow or know how much you can really trust God." We don't have to go searching for trials. They will come. But understanding that God means them for our good will help us when they do come, to receive them as grace and mercy of God to us. Because I think it's fair to say that those who know Jesus the best are those, and therefore love Jesus the most, are usually those who've been through the worst trials. It's interesting, isn't it? We would naturally think the countries where it's hardest to be a Christian would be where the church is dwindling. You know, where they're suffering persecution, surely they wouldn't attend church, and churches just would fizzling out and dying. But actually it's the opposite. That is where the church is exploding with fruit. And if you have the privilege of meeting anyone who has ever gone any kind of serious persecution, you'll see the fruit of God is born in them personally. Word Alive many years back, I think I've shared this before, but Ruth and I heard Bishop Benjamin Kwashi from Nigeria speaking, and he spoke of how he had faced such incredible trials, terrible things that you can't even imagine. Homes being burnt, watching his wife being brutally attacked, beatings that he personally received. But the peace in his voice, the happiness, the true joy. Because the way he saw it, God hadn't taken anything from him or his wife that hadn't been replaced by something far greater. Something they wanted more. The deep riches of abiding in Jesus. Don't despise your trials. Don't resent being broken, whether in big ways or small. Because whatever the source of your pain, in God's hands, he turns it to gain. We live here in the West in a very comfy time in history, in a very comfy culture, with very comfy ways of life. But that's actually a really scary place to be spiritually. If you want to know Christ and bear fruit, don't get too comfy. Don't run towards the shelter of this world. Dare to be different.